Today, I can tell you with certainty that after 18 years, Ron Vandersloot is no longer the suspect in my daughter's murder. He is the killer.
After years of extensive media coverage and investigations, Joran Vandersloot confesses to the killing of Natalee Holloway. Natalee grew up in Alabama and dreamed of becoming a doctor. In 2005, she went on a school trip to Aruba. She and her friends went out one night, which is where she met Vandersloot. She was last seen getting in a car with Joran and his friends. The following day, her friends realized that Natalee was missing and called her parents, who immediately flew down to Aruba.
I knew in my heart that, this is really, really not good.
My name is Beth Holloway. My daughter is missing, and you were the last person seen with her in that car.
Vandersloot acknowledges partying with Natalee, but says he dropped her off at her hotel room that night. This ultimately places Joran and his two friends in jail, where they change their story about what happened that night. Joran said he left Natalee on the beach. He's in prison for 2 months, but then let out on insufficient evidence. In 2008, evidence is found of Joran confessing to throwing Natalee's body off a boat.
I just think that I'm incredibly lucky that she's never been found.
He said he made that up, and what really happened in 2005 was that he sold Natalee off into slavery. Joran has been involved in a trafficking ring in Bangkok, making his last story more credible.
He's a psychopath, has no feelings for anyone.
In 2010, when Joran's father passed away, Joran reaches out to the Holloways and tells them that he will disclose Natalee's body in exchange for $250,000. The family agrees, and when they arrive in Aruba, he brings them to his late father's house, which wasn't even around at the time of the murder. This makes it impossible for her to be buried there, and Joran admits to lying to the Holloways. He secretly makes his way to Peru. On May the 30th, 2010, which was the 5th anniversary of Natalee's death, Joran Vandersloot was involved in another murder of a woman in Peru. Meanwhile, the Holloways charge him with fraud and extortion, but still couldn't arrest him due to a lack of evidence. In 2012, Natalee is declared legally dead. He also admits to murdering the girl in Peru, which gives him 25 years in prison.
You are a killer, and I want you to remember that every time that jail door slams.
While in prison, Joran gets married and has a child.
We do have one thing in common, Joran. You have a daughter, I had one, but mine is no longer here.
On May the 10th, 2023, Joran was brought to the States on a temporary extradition to face the same charges of fraud and extortion. In this court hearing a few weeks ago, he admitted to the kidnapping and killing of Natalee Holloway as part of the plea deal.
He will be seeing me again when he thinks he's a free man.
He admits to trying to touch her and that she refused.
She tells me she doesn't want me to feel her up. I insist, I keep feeling her up either way.
Dave Holloway, Natalee's dad, said he's proud that his daughter stood up for her own body. Because of her refusal to comply, he smashed her head with a brick he found on the sand. He then proceeds to take her body and drag it into the water alone. This was all verified with a polygraph test. The judge gives Vandersloot 20 years, which he'll be serving concurrently with his 28-year sentence in Peru for another murder. This is the closure Beth Holloway needed in order to put this behind her.
I still miss her every day. It's been a very long and painful journey.
A broken mother whose name was too many times in the headlines for the past 2 decades is ready to move on.
We finally, today, we got justice for Natalee.